Then there was one more match that I was looking forward to seeing, and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, several weeks. I've mentioned it several times. The TV title match, Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe, right? And I like the VTR package they did because Joe and Jay have, in Ring of Honor, been going on and off and had interaction back to when Jay really first started in the company. And they had that footage. So they did a nice package, and obviously there's been heat, I guess you would call it, between them. They've been doing little vignettes for this angle in between the rotten wrestling matches on Dynamite, where they'll have Jay and Sanjay and Zippy the Giant Pinhead in the back talking or, whatever. And Joe, I guess, was out doing something, and they said he was there, whatever the case. But there's been these little 30 and 45-second little updates on this angle. So finally they get a package, but it is a grudge match because there's long-standing heat. And so as soon as Lethal's out there, and here comes Joe, and they get into a fight on the floor. And I'm thinking, okay, they should here. This makes sense. It's a grudge match. They're fighting on the floor. They're so anxious to get a hold of each other. Let's start it hot. They've probably seen these people are a little reserved, those New Englanders with their stiff upper lips. So we'll give them a good flurry at the beginning, and we'll get them into the match, and then we'll go from there. And that's what they did. They started the fight on the floor, and they kept fighting on the floor. And Jay did his 3 dive in a row thing to Joe and was blistering him. And they still didn't start. And they're doing the thing where they didn't ring the bell. It wasn't a jump start and the bell rang and here we go. It's before the bell. So all of this is in front of the referee, and it matters not. Samoa Joe goes to powerbomb Lethal through a ringside table. And here comes Zippy the Giant Pinhead and attacks Joe. And the referees just have him stand there with dick in hand. The bell hasn't rung. Then they finally get in the ring, and Jay tells the referee to ring the bell, but the referee first has to kick Zippy the Giant Pinhead out of ringside and then rings the bell. And by the way, Sanjay and Zippy had both come out with Jay at the top of the ramp on his entrance, and they bid adieu and went to the back. And then they bring the guy right back out. And did Sanjay ever come back out? I don't think so. So finally, Pinhead gets kicked out, and they ring the bell, and they're 6 minutes into this, and now they start trying to have a fucking match. And whichever analogy or simile you want to use, they followed a shooting with a stabbing, or they came and then started kissing, or whatever, it took the edge off of it for me. And the last thing you want to do with a hard crowd, you want to hook them with a flurry of action and get them involved in something, the story you're going to tell them, but you don't want to go 100 miles an hour and do all the wild stuff for 5 minutes and then try to start having a match from scratch, or then you've completely shit the bed with the people, because now they've seen the wildest shit you're going to fucking do. So I tried to watch it, but at that, I was just disinterested because I was let down. Jay Lethal is one of the best talents in the business, and Samoa Joe is a great fucking badass, tough guy kind of combination shooter, but still just fucking badass. And them athletically together, and they know each other. And Jay has a heel manager, Sanjay Dutt. Why couldn't fucking Joe have hit the ring and Jay tried to jumpstart it to get the advantage, and Joe made a big fucking comeback right off the bat and bumped Jay around and out on the floor where he hugs his manager, and now they've already rung the bell, and now Joe is trying to get his hands on Jay, and they do some bullshit, but then the manager intervenes to let Jay get the advantage on Joe so that he can sell some, so that finally he can make a big fucking comeback. And goddamn, maybe then we'll take Jay out on the floor and rattle him around on the furniture. And then as he goes to put him away, fucking Sanjay tries to do something that ends up backfiring to give Jay Lethal an out, and Joe fucking wins it and retains the title. Or they can have the majority of their action up front, tire themselves and the people out, then have a match. Then fucking Joe just chokes him out with a rear naked choke in the middle of the ring, which is what he did. So I was disappointed, not in the guys, but in the way that they chose to perform their little mini opera. What'd you think about it?
Not very much. And I said that to you on the phone, and you were kind of wondering why I wasn't going crazy about this. You hadn't watched it yet. That was the one match you wanted to see, or one of them.
Yeah, one of the two, and then Claudio.
You know what? I was more excited than anything just to see Samoa Joe. I got no reason to care about Jay Lethal right now. They've given me no reason to care. 30-second promos here and there with a makeshift little group that he has. I don't really care. And I didn't care about this. To me, and this is not to take away from the night that Claudio had or any of the other matches that you ignored, but to me, this was a one-match show. This is almost like a boxing event. I bought so many boxing pay-per-views just to see the main event. I bought this just to see the main event.
This was a Tyson fight. Yeah, and it was the same thing with the last card, wasn't it? Super Card of Honor in April,
actually,
FTR to Briscoes. That was just...
Same thing.
Can you imagine, in this day and age, they've got a match that people are willing to pay $30 or $40 just to see that without anything else on the card, and they can't even fucking promote it on their own goddamn television show. Well, anyway, that was Joe and Jay, and I still love them. They're still my boys. It just sometimes the cake doesn't rise, but I wasn't real thrilled with that.
Well, you know, Jim, sometimes some people, let's just say, for lack of a better term, a tag team, get their feelings hurt when society finally realizes, oh, wow, that other tag team really is a lot better. And sometimes these tag teams, they come out and the entire crowd seemingly just yells the other team's name at them. And they run away very upset. Perhaps they need someone to talk to.
That's right, because if they talk to each other, all they're going to be doing is asking an idiot for counsel. So they should talk to somebody else. And folks, if you have real problems in your life instead of the puny little penny-ante ones that the Cucamonga kids have, then you might need to talk to somebody. And you might not want to talk to somebody in your family or close social circle, not because then you would be giving counsel to idiots or getting from same, but just because you don't want to share those details. Well, now there's a way that you can communicate with licensed professional therapists at your own pace, at your own speed, in the manner in which you so choose, whether it's video or phone or chat only. So you don't have to get in front of a camera or bathe and shave. I know many times I don't do that for this program. Brian complains, but everybody else seems to be okay with it. But that's what you need to do. Call the folks at BetterHelp. We've mentioned this before. You need to do maintenance on yourself as well as your possessions. If you had to keep the same car for your entire life, would you take care of it? Well, that's the same way as with your brain. Most people only get one brain to last their entire life. And the ones that get a second brain, they got a lot of money. So I'm figuring most of our listeners are not in that category yet. So take care of your brain. You need to learn a new language. You need to take power naps. You need to support your brain with healthy foods and things you ingest in your body. And also, you need to make use of it through BetterHelp Online Therapy. As we mentioned, it's more affordable than in-person therapy and also more convenient, whether it be by video or phone, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours, which in most parts of the world is less than 2 days. So, right now, our listeners, that means you folks, will get 10% off your first month's services if you go to betterhelp.com/JCE. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JCE. 10% off your first month's services. Talk to or chat with or send out smoke signals or telegram. Do they still do telegrams? Is there such a thing as Western Union anymore?
I don't know. Good question.
Well, work on that while I finish this spot. So again, telegrams, telephone, or tele-wrestler. That's the main ways of communication, but you can do it all with BetterHelp online therapy with licensed professional therapists that works for you. BetterHelp.